Good evening, candidates. A candidate has asked me to give suggestion regarding credit officer interview. So, what are the various things which we should concentrate in any interview? In any interview, you can, first of all, you must take care of all the certificates that you have to carry with you. Keep them ready. Then all photograph, identity proof, everything you keep them ready. You keep all your certificates, etc., so that you can present them properly. That is important. Number two, you must be able to dress yourself properly and present yourself nicely to the interviewers. Even though it is going to be through video conference, you must present yourselves nicely. Then the questions can be of these ranges. One, they can be about self. They can ask you about self. That means about your college, about your degree, and about your school, about your place, native place, parents, family. They can ask anything of this, and your district, what is important, what is the important industry that is there in that place. These questions, general questions, they can be asked for anybody. Then after asking about general questions about say yourself, about your place and all that, then they will come to say about the bank for which you are appearing. What do you know about that bank? For example, if one is appearing for Indian Bank, he must be able to go through the website of Indian Bank and get to know some important points about Indian Bank. What are the achievements made by Indian Bank? What are the important points they are highlighting? Total deposits, total advances, total profit. All these things you must be able to tell about Indian Bank. First about self, degree, district. Now comes say about the bank. Then thereafter, the questions can be related to the job for which you are applying. For example, this candidate has asked me to tell about the uh, credit officer interview. So for that, what you should know, first of all, you must know the job profile. It can be present in any way. Whatever it is, credit officer means what? One who processes the credit proposals. In one sentence, that's what it is. But it can be told in a descriptive manner like this: approve loans within specified limits, refer loan applications outside those limits to management for approval. This is in the case of people who have powers to sanction. But normally, most of us, when we join, we may not have powers. So the second one will be applicable. You have to put up to your boss for approval. Meet the applicants to obtain information for loan applications. Analyze applicants' financial status, credit, and property evaluations to determine feasibility of granting loans. Explain to customers the different types of loans, credit options that are available. Obtain and compile copies of loan applicants' credit histories, corporate financial statements, other financial information. Review and update credit and loan files. Review the loan agreements to ensure they are complete and accurate. Compute payment schedules. Stay abreast of new types of loans and other financial services and products. Submit applications to credit analysts for verification recommendation. Handle customer complaints and take appropriate action. Work with clients to identify their financial goals and find ways to reaching those goals. Confer with, and this point may not be applicable for our case, our country. This also may not come. Market bank products to individuals and firms promoting bank services. Supervise loan personnel. Set credit policies, credit lines, procedures. Of course, this also may not apply because we are in the lower level. Provide special services in investment banking for clients. analyze potential loan markets, develop referral networks, prepare reports to send to customers whose accounts are delinquent, and forward irreconcilable accounts for collector action, that is for reconciled accounts, arrange for maintenance liquidation of delinquent properties, that is sale, interview, hire and train new employees, that may not be applicable for you, petition courts to transfer titles. So these are the points given about credit officer. Actually, this is not of our country, but it is of other country. But still, many of these points are applicable for us. So what are the questions that can be asked in a credit officer interview? It can be like this. On what basis home loan is approved? On what basis home loan is approved? Not only like that, they can ask about other loans, auto loan, how it is approved, agricultural loan, how it is approved, MSME loans, how it is approved, big industries loans, how it is approved. Tell me about yourselves, your strengths and gray areas to overcome. Explain loan to value. Then, how will you evaluate a salaried employee when he approaches for your loan? Are you interested in job location, different places? Why do you want to shift from engineering to credit assessment? Tell me about yourself. What did you study in MBA and summer internship? About the nature of work you have done. How will you evaluate a businessman approaches you for a loan? How will you evaluate a businessman if he approaches you for a loan? Yeah, Google takes care of people, so they will not allow anybody. So that is the problem. So sign in approved. This is again an effort done by Google. They are troubling us quite often. Yeah, many times they are troubling us. Yeah. Then, in case they have a GD round, they can ask you in public and private sector options around what are the 5 C's of credit. And they gave me the scenario based question for interview. 5 C's of credit. Then related to LVR, I don't know what it is. Please check it up. Questions like why do you want to join? Other questions like CAD in personal interview. Okay. Then in a scenario where the general economic condition is very unsound, how would you go about deciding whether to lend or not? On what basis would you lend to someone? What factors would you consider are essential for the person to get the maximum loan? What I have understood about the job description? What is CMA? Credit Officer Karur Vysya Bank was asked. Then they will question your skills and ask you to prove. Example, I mentioned good analytic skills. I was asked to make me say that I have good analytical skills and was asked to prove. Then tell me about yourself, family background also they can ask you. Next question can be, are you willing to work anywhere in India? Why you switch from one bank to another? A few personal questions regarding past employer they can ask you. Then you was asked to assess the income of an applicant through an example. Describe yourself accounting principles. What are the accounting principles? Debit the receiver, credit the giver, debit what comes in, credit what goes out, debit all expenses, credit all income and gains. Why do you think a competitor HDFC is doing good, which we are not? Understanding of a profile. As credit assessment officer profile, would you prefer offering a credit to self-employed person or a full-time employee of any organization? Next question. I was asked if I am okay with relocating to Bangalore. What are the 4 C's of credit? How would you speak to customer asking for details regarding a few requirements needed for assessment? Like for example, you must be able to get the information. At least at the same time, he must not feel that you are over questioning him. I was asked to arrive at an amount for calculating the loan eligibility of a customer. Why you want to leave your current organization? why you want to join the next, what is interest spread, full form of sibyl. Interest spread, that is, what is the different interest we are paying in deposits, what is the cost of funds and what is the cost of loan that we are giving, what cost we are charging, full form of sibyl. So people going for credit analysis can get to know some details about credit analysis institutions also. What are the things you would ask for from a customer before giving him a loan? Why do you want this? I don't understand. Why do you, I mean, this company, it seems. Why do you want to join Indian Bank? Then tell me about yourself. Where do you see yourself in 3 years? Educational background, hobbies, what is your lookup, chart preparation in Excel about HDFC Bank. Then they can ask about Indian Bank. How can public sector banks more appealing to the youth? Nothing was difficult question asked. Every question was common and general. Basically asked about your previous experience, knowledge, applied post salary expectations, but easy interview. CRR, SLR, WPI, CPI, and hedging location preference. What would you do if you were not able to understand something in the training? Relate your previous skill with the current role. Then the operational round will be a role play round where you will play the role of credit assessment. A situation would be put up in front of you to assess whether you would provide a loan in that situation. How would you decide to grant a loan or not to a person except for Sibyl? So these are the questions that are available here. This is one type of credit related questions. Then apart from this, what can be asked is most common interview questions like what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, why you are interested in working for Indian Bank or whatever bank, where do you see yourself in 5 years, why do you want to leave your current company. Likewise, I will post all these things as a link to the YouTube that I'm going to, as a comment to the YouTube I'm going to put. Then you can see therein so many questions are given. Prepare your answers for all these things. I think I have given in my previous videos also. Apart from this, sometimes when it is going to be a chartered accountant, I mean, whatever is related to commerce, accounting, etc., such questions will be asked. They can ask you about GST, contingent liability, Basel committee norms, capital adequacy. Likewise, these things they can ask you in, say, interviews. So these are some of the questions I thought I can share with you for credit analysis. After the questions relating to the subject at asked and also general questions which I told you, apart from that, what questions can they can ask you? Do you have any questions to us? Likewise, these questions can be there, and there can be questions relating to your native place, important people from your place. All these things can be asked. Then questions can be asked relating to economy also. That's all. More or less, I think I have covered almost all the questions. Please prepare on these lines. And what is more important is the confidence with which you speak. Whatever answer you give with an idea that you are believing in it. If you tell with a half-heartedness, then it will not be accepted. You tell them whenever they ask strengths, you tell them what are your strengths. Whenever they ask you what are the works you have done, you tell really what are the work you have done so that they can ask you questions related to that. Now, supposing you are appearing for credit officer, whereas you have no credit officer requirement, I mean experience early, tell them that you will learn things quickly and equip yourself. And normally, credit officer is supposed to know about balance sheet, assessment sheet, assessment of credit requirements, follow up of the applications. That's all. Generally, these are the areas related to credit officer. So whatever I have told you can be asked in any other field. Supposing it is law officer, they will ask more questions relating to law. Supposing it is IT, they will ask more questions relating to IT. Supposing it is HR, they may ask more questions relating to human relations. That is how it will go. So this will be of use for almost all the interviews. So thank you so much. Best wishes.